Ta-da! Can you hear me?
Ooh, hold on.
Yes, you can. Can you hear me? Come on, can you hear me? Look, I got lipstick on my tooth. Yay! What a way to start out a Monday with lipstick on my tooth. Yay! Wonderful. Okay, is it gone? It's gone. Excellent. Mostly, I think. Wait, PK, good morning. Hi, I don't recognize you. Are you here? You can hear me. Hey, John. Hey, everybody. Good morning. Here I is. Good morning, good morning, good morning. All right, so, hey, Amy. So first, housekeeping things. I hope everybody, good morning. I hope everybody had a great weekend. Wow, my weekend was intense. There's just so much creative energy and craziness going on in the universe right now and in my own life and my business and just everything else. And so a couple things first. I would, let me, don't worry about the lipstick. You know, I really want, it's still there, y'all. Let me tell you something. This lipstick, I can't remember the company I got it from, but it's that all-day lipstick stuff, and it's cruelty-free, of course, and vegan, and, you know, of course, all that. I can't, oh, Lordy. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but y'all, when they say all day, they really mean like all week, and then it'll get on your cups, and it'll get on your silverware, and it's there. So all of my cups and all of my silverware around my house right now are looking like movie stars because they've all got lipstick on them. So, ooh, you got to, Mystic, you went floating down the river. Jelly, totally jelly. So listen, you all got some announcements this morning. So first of all, thank you so much to my moderators, Teapot, Maureen, and Amy. I couldn't do anything without y'all. I'd just be laying in a fetal position under my couch or something. So thank you guys so much. Secondly, this is so important. I get emails every week from y'all asking me, was it me that hit you up during a chat or whatever, or during a live to inbox me or one of my team to get a reading or whatever? No. There are a lot of scammers out there, a lot of trolls. If it is not, we don't do that. My team does not do that, and I definitely don't do that. So please don't answer them, y'all. They are the scammers of all scammers. So there you go. And also, I wanted to make the announcement. Some of you have asked me why I'm changing my format. Well, for a couple of different reasons. Mostly it's what you all have asked for. I've gathered the information over the times that I've been doing the lives and doing the, you know, the daily readings and whatever, and people wanted me to speak more to their zodiac signs, and that makes total sense to me. And the reason that I was called, you know, I asked my animal guides what day to do it on, and they were like, Monday, duh. And I was like, what does that mean? And they were like, y'all, Bernadette, Monday is the root chakra day, and who you are as your zodiac sign is your most fundamental, it's your basis, it's your core, it's who you are at your core. And I was like, oh, root chakra day, who you are at your core. I got it. So that's why we're doing, we love having you too, C. Canuel. That's why we're having, that's why we're doing this on Mondays. And so, also, you know, if you're new here, welcome to the madness, welcome to nature, welcome to metaphysics, welcome to shamanism. For my longtime subscribers, every day I send blessings to you all, and I give great thanks for you all every single day in every single way. So thank you. If you are new though, please subscribe to my channel, hit the bell so that, you know, the ringy dingy little bell thingy, so that you get all the notifications. And also, boy, I'm going to take a deep breath, and I'm going to ask this of you all. Asking people to do something is, see, I'm already getting hot. It's a challenge for me, but I am going to ask kindly that if you like my content, you like my readings, and, you know, you love animals, if you would share the channel and share the readings, that kind of thing, and help me to get the word out about the animal allies and all the great spiritual stuff. I think it's great spiritual stuff that goes on around here. I'll be very appreciative. So, all of that said, I am going to jump right in here because we've got 12 signs to go through, and I'm barely hanging on by a thread, meaning able to talk to you guys like, you know, Mama Bear, because I'm so in the zone that when it hit me, and it really only just hit me this morning, that duh, we're doing this on a Monday, it's root chakra day, and your zodiac animal is your original birth totem. It's who you are. I will tell you, if you all, tuned into the readings last week, they were big time, like seriously powerful readings, because for the wild pack, you all are being asked to go through an initiation. You're being activated in whatever ways that you are wanting to go to. And the what's been unfolding for you all just since last week, I you'd think I'd be used to all this stuff by now. Be like, yeah, of course that's going to happen. Well, sure. But I'm, y'all, even at my age, I still love the magic. I'm still like, whoop, do. And if you all watched yesterday's reading or yesterday's video about that crazy class that was happening in the Villages, Florida, and you saw the proof positive of a guitar pick manifesting out of absolute thin air, for a lady I was giving a reading to, and I had just breathed to her, what's up with guitars and guitar picks? And the other lady, there was another lady in the class, and she just got up and jetted out of her chair, and we were all like, what's going on? And she picked up something from the floor and she handed it to the gal. It was a guitar pick in the middle of the water or wherever the clubhouse big giant thingy conference room thingy was. There was a guitar pick right there by that lady. Oh my gosh, we were all like, what? I literally had to lean myself up against a door jamb. I was so shaky, I really thought my knees were going to go out from under me. I want to say I couldn't believe it. I can believe it, but that, when the magic happens like that, when it just took any kind of faith I have, any kind of commitment to the work I do, I didn't think it could get any deeper, but oh, yes, it could. And yes, it did, because that's some crazy, crazy stuff right there. So, all right, so we're going to get started, and how I'm going to work and y'all, let me just say one other thing. I got all kinds of water and tea and everything sitting in front of me, because y'all, over the last couple of weeks, the energy, which I believe, based on whatever scientific, whatever I think I know, I believe that when I'm channeling and I'm getting messages from spirit, it's electrical currents going through my body. And for those of you that are readers, or you're just starting reading, you may notice that during readings or after readings, you are super thirsty or you're really hungry. That's because the electricity is taking your body, and it's like zzz, 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 and it's just making everything in you go like crazy, 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 right? So that's why I have to drink so much during the readings, or it'll I don't even know, I'll be like that by the end of the readings, and that's not a good look for me. So and if you missed it, I'll do it again. So yeah, we don't like that look for me. So all right, let's go. So what I'm going to do every Monday is I'm going to start with the sign that we're in the time of. And right now we're in the time of Gemini. And, Geminis, you are... oh, and the other thing I want to tell y'all is I pulled all of the cards ahead of time. And the reason that I do that is, see, here we go. All I got to do is talk about Geminis, and I need more water. Geminis. Maybe. Do I need water? Don't I need water? Do I need water? Don't I need water? See, I'm already channeling Gemini. So, again, being in the time of Gemini, your mantra, Gemini, what your mantra is I think. And so you are also a duality sign. Having said that, let me say that, again, one of the reasons that I pull the cards ahead of time is, again, for those of you that are learning reading, and I even find seasoned readers believe sometimes that you can't pull a card or get a message for someone but ahead of time, that's not the right way to do it. Well, what? Like, the first time a teacher told me that, I was like, I sat there for a minute and I went, that's not logical. And I raised my hand and I said, hey, okay, I want to understand this because you're the expert and I'm not. But if someone comes to you for a reading and you're being asked to psych out on something, predict something in the future, how how is that okay? But getting messages for people or pulling cards ahead of time, how's that not okay? How are they different? And she couldn't explain it. In all her years of teaching, she said, nobody's ever posed that question before. She goes, I got to think about that. And the next week she came in and she went, you know what? It's not different. So from that day on, sometimes I do it, right in the moment, and sometimes I just do it ahead of time. With all 12 of you all, I wanted to start getting the flow into my consciousness so that these readings could be super relevant. So, all right. So first, we're going to start out with the Gemini tarot reading for today. And what's interesting is you're a duality sign, right? And here's Capybara for you. And if you'll notice, the Capybara is nursing 2 babies. So you want to talk about a duality sign, right? That kind of cracked me up. So when you talk about I think, and you talk about a capybara being your spirit totem and power animal, capybaras are, first of all, they're in the friends, family, and lovers portion or add-on deck of the Arcanimal Tarot and Oracle deck, which if you're just joining me, that's, oh look, you know what? I really got to get my marketing game on. I don't even have a deck to show you in front. But I read from my own award-winning history-making deck, the Arcanimal Tarot and Oracle deck, which is based on the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot. And then it has like another 50 or 60 Oracle cards that go with it. So the Capybara is in the friends, family, and lovers. And so the first thing that's coming to my mind for you, Gemini, with the Capybara coming up for you, and it's a nursing mom, what that tells me is there are 2 factions on either it's you and someone else, but I don't really feel that. I feel like there's a triangulation going on. And what that means is you're stuck in the middle of 2 people that are needing you, or they're warring with each other, and you're just like stuck in the middle. But you've got to stand tall and strong like a mom would, even if you're not the mom of these people, or a mom might. You've got to stand tall. And the other thing I want to say, guys, is I've got so much ground to cover so that everybody gets the same attention and everybody gets a full reading, because this is your reading. This is your tarot reading for the week, meaning I still do the daily readings, but every day that I'm doing these lives, like today, it's about the Zodiac signs, and then Wednesday, whatever animal is coming out for everybody on Wednesday, we'll take a deep dive into that. We're going to talk about the root chakra, and then another thing. And so Wednesdays will be like a reading / healing / class. And then Friday, it's tarot, all day tarot. And I can't wait for that. Each half hour is going to be a different card, and we are going to deep dive into that card. Ooh, cannot wait. And then Saturdays will be readings, and then Sundays will be something. I'm really hoping that my friend, and I know I'm off your reading, but I forgot to announce this earlier, Gemini, I'll get back to you. My friend, Lisa, that does those crazy indigenous healings, I'm hoping that she'll be able to record, and you guys can have just an incredible healing session on Sunday. So let me get back to Capybara. So Capybara is the world's largest living semi-aquatic rodent. Man, they love water. So, and they also, they're really, they know how to live it up. There are hot springs where they're from, right? And so they love to lounge in the hot springs, and they love to swim in the cool pools. And in their, people all around the world, wherever they have capybaras, they even build they even build special pools, special that kind of thing, because for some reason capybaras have just, well, okay, they're the coolest, chillest animal ever. And the reason that I bring up that it's just so crazy for Capybara to come out for you today, Gemini, in your tarot reading is, again, it's the duality. This is a nursing mom. She's got 2 babies, both nursing on either side of her, and there she stands. And if you can see the triangle, I'm going to very quickly, because I'm not looking at the chat, because I'll get distracted and I'll want to play and have a good time with you all. But I am going to keep my eye on the time. So if you see me look over, I've got to give enough time for each sign. So all that said, there are a couple things that come to mind. Let me go through this. So Gemini, your mantra again is I think. And as I look at the position of this capybara in juxtaposition to her babies, there's a perfect triangle. So that leads me to a pyramid. And what I know that you're being called on this week in particular, you all are the great communicators of the world. And you are likely, I mean, Geminis, Libras, Pisces. I mean, in any given moment, you never know which side of y'all you're going to get. And you're going to do something, and then you're not going to do something, and you want something, and then you don't want something. And that's not a slam. That's who you are. That is your birth totem. That is your zodiac sign. It is who you are at your core. That said, this week in particular is going to be super important for you to bring all of your thoughts and all of your organization. Let yourself be the triangle so that all of the energy builds up from the bottom like a pyramid. And that, in sacred geometry and symbolism and meaning and that kind of thing, let your energy draw up from the bottom and have it be one really, really, really powerful, cohesive thought pattern, because you're being asked to really focus this week. And I know that can be difficult for you. Well, it's not really difficult for you to focus. It's just difficult for you to stay focused on one thing because you teeter-totter, but you can't do that. What we assume by looking at this capybara is that each of the things that she's nurturing is getting their sustenance. It's getting their what they need, those babies need, equally, right? And so whatever you're dispensing to others, again, I want to go back to, I see you standing in the middle of two people, or two situations or two choices. What a surprise, you're a Gemini. But that mom has just the look of absolute peace, love, joy, just loving the moment, peaceful in the moment. And that's really what you're being called to do in this situation, whatever this is. The other thing is, people love capybaras. Again, they're the most chill animal, and they will get along with and help pretty much every other animal. So there's something humanitarian that you're being called for this week, Gemini. There's something very social, which is right up your alley, that you're being called for. And, it's like a social consciousness, right? You're really being asked to just kind of be out there, not necessarily globally, unless that's your thing, but it is it is about the social portion of it, whatever that is going to mean to you. Now, when you're talking about capybara, okay, if let's say that you came to this reading this morning and you know let's say that you set the intention that you needed a sign for a decision that you want to make. That's going to be capybara showing up as your spirit animal, right? And when capybara shows up as your spirit animal, it is definitely, definitely, definitely time to make sure that you're careful with whatever choices that you are whatever choices that you're making. Pardon me one second. So the other thing is, if you are feeling like you really identify with capybara, or you've always identified with capybaras, or love capybaras and have for a long time, or even just recently, but like love, 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 love them, then as a totem animal, capybara really belongs to those people who are great at kind of, I wouldn't say manipulating, maybe swaying public opinion, usually for the better. So you might be being called, again, back to that socially conscious thing, back to that there are two sides, you're in the middle. Make your thought process, bring all the power inside of you up, work to or set the intention to make it a very cohesive train of thought, because whatever it is you decide, please, 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 I'm begging you, this is root chakra day. You're a Gemini. The card is all about the triangular, the pyramid, the apex, the power. When it's like a laser. When you shoot that much power out of, you gather it all up from the bottom. Well, really, even from the four sides. And then you start bringing the number four, then, 4 in numerology, you bring that into it. And 4 is the strongest number. It's the most stable number. You're talking some kind of big something something is going to go on for you. Even if it's not readily apparent to you right now in the moment, it's going to become apparent to you. So now, if you are you know, because not all Geminis are the same. There are no two zodiac signs that are the same, but meaning when you incarnate, you know, into this reality, yes, you might be a Gemini, but you may also have these other things about you. It could be you're bringing in patterning from your past life. It could be, or lives. It could be your sacred contract. You decided that, you know, you wanted to have these challenges or these strengths or whatever, whatever. And so, you know, if you are compelled to call on Capybara as a power animal, meaning, if you're new here, and you might, you know, not everybody hears everything I say, so let me, and I'm going to probably repeat this a few times today. My good friend Catherine Skaggs, who painted me this gorgeous drum that you see behind me, I asked her, I said, it's the first time I've ever seen you paint a person with their power animal, their totem animal, their spirit animal, where the face wasn't equally divided. You've got the bear's head wrapped around my head. And she said, well, that's because I know you. And she said, I've never, ever known anybody who was so deeply, deeply connected with their spirit totem and power animal. She said, I don't see you as being Bernadette. I see you as being a bear. And when you show up to wherever you're showing up to, like when you showed up into this world, I see you as stepping out of the bear, not you to be Bernadette, not you connecting with the bear inside of you. And I thought that was the most powerful thing ever, because I think that's true of everybody. Like when you say or do things and you just don't, you're like, where did that come from? You know, of course, nature versus nurture versus conditioning versus your own ideas versus your, I mean, there's a lot that goes on into the mix, right? But if you are wanting to, you know, work with Capybara in the intention of Capybara being your power animal, Gemini, then that is going to be, I'm feeling a tickle in my throat chakra. And that's going to be, especially if you are an introvert Gemini, or you're a Gemini who has challenges speaking your truth, which a Gemini that doesn't, you know, Geminis that need some healing, some balancing, some clearing, some activation in their throat chakra. It's especially difficult for you because you're the great communicator. You're the great social butterfly of all time. So, I hope that was helpful. I'm moving on. Okay. So now what we're going to do is, and apologies, you guys, I do not have the zodiac signs memorized in order. You'd think I would as many years as I've been doing this, but you know, hey, a lot of junk flows around in my head. So, all right, Cancer, we are moving on to you. So, this is, y'all. I love you all more than I can tell you. And the reason I do is because I honestly believe the collective energy, you all just want such good for each other. Do you know, oftentimes I get emails from y'all that you want to know if it would be appropriate for me to give you the contact information of so and so and such in the chat, because you feel compelled to reach out to them because of what they said in the chat, and you just want to help them. And of course I can't do that. And for lots of y'all, I don't know who you are. I don't know who you are behind your screen names, and I'd love to know you. You know, next year, retreat next year, woo, it's gonna be a spirit animal party up in there. But you all as a group, I have said this before, and I'm going to continue saying it. I spend a lot of time online, and I've been an online person for many, many years. I just have never seen a group as kind to each other and as generous and as giving as the Wild Pack. Honest to goodness. And oh my God, it is such an honor. But anyway, here's why I laugh. Because Cancer. Oh my goodness. The card that came out for you today is Tortoise, another shelled animal. Imagine that. Okay. So, and you're going to really laugh at the card that's coming next, for Leo. That just cracks me up. So when you, Cancer, you know, your mantra is, oh gosh, is it I feel? Is it here? And you guys might notice I may have to take a look at my own site to get this, because again, I've been doing this so long. I've got so much going on in my head. I'm like, ugh. Yes, I feel. Okay, so you are I feel, and you know, that's your motto, that's your mantra, and your water sign. And so, you know, my great googly moogly, You know, your ruling planet is Mercury, which is such a duality for you because you are I feel, and it's very easy for Cancers when they're very hurt, when they're afraid, for you all to just climb back into your shell and wait years and years before you're ready to take a chance on anything again. And that's unfortunate because you really are a warrior, and you do have the ability to just get out those little pinchers and when you're onto something and you don't let go. Like, you just don't let go. And those claws, woo! If you've never been snapped by a crab, because I'm from Florida. When I was a kid, I had to play and I had to test things. It hurts a lot, and you think they're going to take your finger off, and you really, really, really think your finger is fixing to be amputated right there on the beach, right then, right there, and it hurts. So I'll just leave that story at that. Ooh, my mom was so mad. You can't even know, because we were poor and she didn't have the money to take me to the hospital, but to the hospital we went anyway. So, and I never did that again. Imagine that. So, you know, when you talk about Tortoise coming for you, I'm just stalling a little bit because, Cancer, this is so deeply important for you to have another shelled animal come out for you on this day, on Monday, the root chakra day. There's just no other way to say it. Tortoise is letting me know that you must keep going. You've got something so deep going on for you right now that maybe even, and it doesn't have to be painful or, you know, traumatic or anything. There just may be some kind of place of joy that you're in that is just so profound it's taking your breath away. And so, you know, in your Cancer tarot reading today, um, you know, turtles are, uh, uh, they are iconic. They are just iconic in spirituality at large, in spirit totem and power animals, in, you know, indigenous cultures, shamanism. There is such a great, you know, they carry such ancient wisdom with them that anybody that embraces that kind of totem for themselves is really, they're the people that are willing to go. That's it. They're the people that are willing to go to the time before time. And what I mean by that, um, I'm not remembering the phrase right off the top of my head, but there's a phrase called turtles all the way, tortoise all the way, something, turtles, tortoise down under. And what that alludes to, or not, well, not what it alludes to, but it is what it is. If you all have ever seen the statues that a lot of places have, where there's a turtle at the bottom, another turtle on top, and then another turtle on top of that, or there might be even more stacked onto them in that sculpture or that painting. That's because there's a story that, gosh, what is it? If somebody can remember that phrase about turtles, that's it. Thank you, Amy. Turtles all the way down. Thank you, Amy. And that is the myth, the legend, that turtle is actually represents the universe. And so many turtles have been built on or climbed on that shell, or that, you know, onto that original tortoise, that original turtle, that they support the universe, they support the earth that we're on. And 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 you'll never find the original, you can never find the original turtle or the original tortoise. And so for you, Cancer, today, for your zodiac sign, whether you're going through the soup, which means, you know, you're just going through a tough time, or whether you're in such a place of joy that you can barely breathe or you can barely speak, it is there is something about your energy today that definitely needs, or it could be helpful for you to just really just sit under your shell and really just, realize that home is where the heart is. And wherever you go, you've got your own shell that you're carrying it. And so if you're looking for your place in life, your tribe, your whatever, at the end of the day, everybody is part of your tribe. Everybody is part of your journey. And if you're moving as fast as, crabs normally do, because they'll skitter across a beach like nobody's business, slow down, you move too fast. You gotta make this time last, just kicking down, all right? You gotta, feel groovy, right? And the other thing that I'm being called to tell you is that when you are having Tortoise show up for you, that is very much about lunar energy, which of course because you're a water sign, and I would bet a dime to a donut that you're very affected by the full moon. Like, I don't do what other people do. I don't pay attention. I don't chart anything by the full moon. I don't want to get it in my head when the full moon is coming. I just don't. And I don't because I'm going to know. A few days before a full moon, I get very like this. And then I just spend until a few days after the full moon. It's like walking around in a trance. Believe me, triple water sign, it's like walking around in a trance. There's so much I've tried to do to get out of that. And I know a lot of you have the same thing. The full moon will start to come around and you're like, ah, so but you are being called to work with that. Now, metaphysically, Cancer, what I'm feeling, gosh, I'm trying to keep an eye on the time. I want everybody, and just so you all know, I'll stay after 10:30 because I can get started on a reading and blab blab blab. But in what are the turtles, reticulated turtles, I think it is. Maybe it's not, I don't remember the name, but there are 13 parts on the shell. So when you start looking at the 13 parts, you start looking at the 13 tones, you start looking at the shell, again, that symbolizes so much, the protection of the universe, the protection of your universe because it protects you. And one of the other things is, again, you're really being called to delve into ancient wisdom. I don't know why I keep seeing herbs pop up in front of me. So if you're a Cancer zodiac sign, and you're here for the tarot, the live daily tarot readings today, you very well may be being called to work with plant medicine, of whatever that means to you, because it means a lot to a lot of different people. It is, or possibly herbs. Maybe you're getting into essential oils or blending your own herbs, that kind of thing. So if you set the intention to show up today and see what spirit totem or power animal shows up for your zodiac sign, if you were just like looking for a sign, then as a spirit animal, Tortoise is telling you, look, stay true to your path. You may be going slower than you like, but your slow and steady wins the race. Attach to that root chakra and you stay steadfast in what you're doing. And the emotion that's welling up in front of me is like, so for the, and I just glanced over. I see a few of you that were in Saturday's Kickstarter class. And congratulations to those who gutted it out in that Kickstarter class, because it was a very different Bernadette that they saw. They saw not the total business side of Bernadette, but some of the business side of Bernadette, which really isn't too different from what I show y'all on the camera. But when I'm focused, I'm focused. And there was a gal, I won't call her out, but we got down to the end of it, and I said, who in here is scared to death? And, who did we scare? And almost everybody raised their hand. I was like, excellent. Because these people, these amazingly brave, courageous, folks showed up because they're committed to wanting to know how to launch their work into the world. Tarot cards and oracle cards and healing decks and books and just all these amazing things. And she was honest. She said, I almost clicked off. She said, you all went into the first few minutes and it scared me and I almost clicked off. And I said, please don't do that. And I'm so proud of you that you stayed, because she stayed true to her path and she confronted her fears And that's what you're being asked to do today, Cancer. Now, if you identify with, let's say that you're like, ooh, and it doesn't matter what zodiac sign you are, if you're watching this live, this daily reading, then, and you identify with tortoise or turtle as your totem animal, I love you because you feel at home anywhere. And that is, I've long admired people who can do that. And I know a lot of us do. So if you are, and oh, and let me just say this: if you have adopted tortoise, what's being told to me now is if you've adopted tortoise or turtle. Oh, I'm such a dork. Turtle or tortoise as your totem animal, there is something around home and hearth that you're being asked to do for others. I don't know if you're providing temporary home for somebody, if you're trying to help somebody with their home, if you're being asked to help the homeless, something about other people in their homes, and I'll leave you with that. And now, Cancer, if you are really feeling like you want to work with turtle or tortoise, sweet bejeebus, as your power animal, then step outside of, emerge as you from the tortoise, and 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 before you do anything else, whatever this is that you want to use turtle or tortoise energy for, you've got to connect to Mother Earth. Now remember, there are sea turtles, but in this moment, in this moment, what I'm feeling is it really is about the earth. It really is, for all of the water that's going on in your sign right now. You've got to ground in the earth. So, Cancer, I really hope that was helpful. And so I'm going to move on quickly. Well, as quickly as Bernadette can move on. Okay, so Leo, woo, fiwa, which is hilarious because Crab. Crab came for you today, and so that just cracks me up because there just couldn't be two more dichotomous animals on this planet than a crab and a lion, right? Could there possibly be? No. And so, Lion, your mantra is Lordy help me bejeebus. I can't remember it. There it is. Okay, is I will. You'd think I'd know that. I have so many Leos in my life. I will. And wow. Okay. Here we go. Leo, your tarot reading for today, your daily reading. Warning, beep, 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 beep. This is big stuff. I think I need some tea. Let me just say this about the tea that I drink. Now, I'm a Southerner. I can brew me some tea. But I love black English tea, or black tea, English breakfast tea. I love it. So I just brew big vats of that. It's got like 10 times the caffeine of regular old tea. But I just love it. Okay, here we go. If you're a Leo, and y'all, if remember that no matter what your birth totem is, no matter what zodiac sign you are, you can always take away messages from whatever your moon sign is, or let's say that you showed up to the reading today and you want to work on XYZ in your fifth YV house or whatever you want to do. That's up to you. But today, the intention is it's root chakra day. We are dealing with the things that take root in us, the places that we've really got to get down deep in our spirit, right? Okay. So, Leos, you can be misunderstood because you are all about the bravado. You love to take center stage. Yes, you do. And survey your pride land. Okay, cool. And that really, that disturbs people's demons sometimes. Too bad, so sad. That's on them, not you. However, this is cuckoo crazy gaga go nuts because whatever this is that you've got going on this week, Leo, you are being called to do that. It doesn't matter whose demons it disturbs. You've got to show up. And you've got to show up in your own life and other people's life. And that is a big, big way. Whatever that means. Now, does that mean a dog and pony show? No. Meaning, should it be inauthentic? No, absolutely not. But if there's something that you have been trying to decide if you want to be front and center of, you do. You don't know it yet, but you do. And even if you're like, I don't know, you're being called. You know you're being called. What else are you going to do? Because it's just going to continue to be an irritant. It's just going to peck at you and peck at you and peck at you until you just do it. But the thing is whatever big means for you, you've got to show up in a big way. Now, let me, and you're like, what does that have to do with crab? Okay, so you're a fire sign. And as a fire sign, you just get so focused on your agenda that you forget to check in with your feelings. That can be trouble, because what happens when you put fire to water? Boil, toil, and trouble. Okay, that water, those feelings, they start to bubble up, they start to heat up, and the next thing you know, and if you've never seen a Leo lose their temper, yeah, even a Scorpio has to take a second look at a Leo when they lose their temper. That's never good. So, for your zodiac sign, you're really being called to just, crank it down a notch with the fire. Crank it down. And you definitely do want to, I will. But here's the thing. I watch this here we go. Leo, you're such a humanitarian. My gosh, you're such a humanitarian. You just really feel it is incumbent upon you to take care of the world. Okay. I honor that like I can't even begin to tell you. So, that's cool. But you lead so much from the heart that sometimes your heart goes into a little bit of burnout. You lead so much from here that you forget to get the foundation up under you. And that's what you're being asked to do today. Get that foundation up from under you. Come from your root chakra and move forward in a way that you won't flame out. You won't burn out. Because no matter how much fire you have inside of you, you still have to regenerate sometimes, right? You've got to regenerate. And the only way to do that is to stay very connected with the lunar part of you, the crab part of you, right? The water part of you. And know that you know what you know. Now, here's the other thing about crabs that are just really, I think it's super cool. They move sideways. Not all of them, but some of them move sideways. And you are very used to plowing right in there. Nope. Just keep making the lateral moves until such time as in your, you just know that you know in your root chakra, and then you steam ahead. I don't care what anyone tells you. Here, let me give you a case in point. Man, I'm trying to stay on time. Ooh, I'm not doing a very good job. Okay. Case in point. So, I gave a free 2-hour class on Saturday. There were a number of reasons I did it. One of them was I dearly love supporting other entrepreneurs. And the reason I dearly love that is, as an entrepreneur of 30-something years, I know how hard it is to find that support. And I mean, that's why Bernadette does most things on her own. If I want something done, I just do it myself. Or I hire a consultant, right? But everybody can't do that. Not everybody's like that. So, there is something that I have wanted to buy for the longest time, and it was just at a price I was not going to pay it. I just was not going to pay it. And I've asked this person to sell me this thing for months and months for a different price. Nothing. Crickets. Not 5 minutes. Actually, that's not true. During the class, it was 5 minutes about after the class, I checked my email, or my Facebook. During the class at exactly 3:22. Are you kidding me? The sacred number 3 and the repeating 22? Really? 3:22, this old boy Facebooked me and said, hey, all right, let's do this deal. And I was like, what? I could not send that money to that person quickly enough. And so what that's about, now this is not about doing things this way, Leo, and you're going to get rewards. It's not about that. What it is about is that you're so humanitarian and you're just so, you've always got wanting to take responsibility and lead and all that. You are being called to do that this time. But you have to know you are going to be rewarded for that. So that is the Leo Tarot wrap up, reading tarot. You know what I'm saying. Wrap up. And so I'm going to take a sippy sip of water and we are moving on to, who are we moving on to? Virgo. Have y'all ever had a thing through your life you notice that with certain zodiac signs you just keep having repeated experiences? I have repeated experiences with Virgos. It's the darndest thing. I don't know what it is. It's got to be a past life thing. But I just have when kooky stuff happens, it's a Virgo. Always. Okay. So, Virgo tarot reading for today. Oh, Virgos, this is going to make you recoil in horror. The Emperor, the Eagle. Okay, here is why. This is very likely to make Virgos, because you analyze. You will, that's your mantra, I analyze. And Virgos, you will analyze something until it vaporizes. You will just analyze the shiitake mushrooms out of something. It is a sight to see. And what that does is put you in a state of analysis paralysis. Now, I don't know all Virgos in the world, but I know every Virgo that has been significant in my life has had the same pattern of that. An Emperor cannot do that. An Eagle cannot do that. And they must be the lord of their domain. They must be the emperors and they must rule their kingdom. And the only way that you can do that is to make a decision and move forward. Now, again, this is root chakra day. Now, you start marrying a spirit totem and power animal with an eagle. You start marrying that with the Emperor, great googly moogly. And it is, that's going to be some powerful stuff. Now, having said that, on Leo that we were just talking about, you might notice that I did not talk to Leo about if they're here and having the crab show up as their spirit totem or power animal. And the reason that I didn't do that is because for Leo, it's all the same right now. Their thing going on really is all the same, whether it's spirit, whether it's totem, whether it's power. However, you, Virgo, when you're being called to, and I'm just going to go right into this portion, I'm going to explain a little bit more of this. You've got to have a time of stability in your life. Right now, you're analyzing so much, like I feel lightheaded and I almost feel a little nauseous. Like you've got so much swirling around in you. Stop, take a breath, center. Maybe you create a storyboard, maybe you create a vision board. What I'm seeing is that if you're a Virgo in this time, in this moment, or you've got Virgo rising, or you've got Virgo in a house that you really are trying to pay attention to, you're almost really being called to make lists. It's like, I'm trying to decide between this. You make an index card, put them on a wall, put them on a board, do it in a notebook, and start saying, what are the advantages, what are the disadvantages, what are the potential pitfalls, the potential this, the potential that, and then make a decision and move forward. Because if your intention, Virgo, if your zodiac sign, your intention today to show up to this daily tarot reading is that you wanted a sign, Okay, that's your spirit animal. Eagle, the archetype of the emperor is showing up as your spirit animal. And it is time to hold your head high, because I also feel like for you Virgos at large, anybody that's Virgo in this chat or in this reading this morning, you're going through a time of self-doubt. Now, this will not be for every single one of you, but my intention that I set when I work with the animal allies is that that they will pass through me the messages that are clear and are meaningful for as many of you as possible. I would love it to be everyone, but that's not always possible. And so, you'll take from this what you can and leave the rest on the table. But you're going through a time of self-doubt, of lack of confidence. And I also feel for Virgos, you guys are having weird dreams going on lately. They are making me a little uncomfortable because they're making you uncomfortable. They're just coming from the turmoil of what it is that you really want in your life, and you just have not stepped up to the plate to be the emperor of your own life and figure it out. And so the other thing that the emperor is and the bald eagle are asking you to do is step into the divine male. The divine male, the sacred masculine is asking you to step into that. Now, that has so many different meanings for so many different people. But at the end of the day, it reads butch up, right? It means, put on your big boy or girl panties and get with the program. Now, that's how we say it in the South. In other places, it's a little softer. It's, find the power within, connect to the strength within, could, channel the strength and the power of the universe. That's great. But you are the universe. You are the universe. Now, there will be teachers that will say that to you, a lot of us, and it's a whole new dawn of a new day in the world of spirituality, where we're coming, those of us that are called to be way showers, to hold the light for others, which we all are in our own way and every day. But we're being asked to help people step more fully into the seat of their own power and stop thinking about whatever you call it, God, source, all that is, the universe, your spirit guides. Stop thinking of it as outside of you. It's not. It's inside of you. You are the universe, and the universe is you. That's why we're all connected, right? Okay. You're being asked to embody that, to embrace that. Now, again, Mercury is your ruling planet. And Virgos, you're all about perfection, which is, your there's nothing ever perfect. Nothing. It may be fantastic in that moment. It might seem like the perfect thing at that moment. And that's how miracles happen, right? So if you're looking to create a miracle in your life, Virgo, that's the way to do it. Make a decision. And just trust that you're being guided. You're being guided to create that miracle by virtue of trusting in your own thought process, trusting in your own analyzation, and having the courage to move forward in a way that is very elevated, because now we're back to eagle. And when you talk about the elevation of an emperor or an eagle, well, eagles soar literally into father sky. Again, a note to the sacred masculine. And emperors rule from their thrones. Proverbial, but they may actually have a real throne. You've got to step into that. And remember, you're an earth sign. So you can get firm footing. You'll be okay. You can get that firm footing that you need and just keep moving forward. Now, if you are, you identify with eagle, remember, the birds that fly the highest, they all have the symbolism and meaning to them of being messengers, that, and with Mercury being, your ruling planet, and Mercury, being the old boy that went to the heavens and carried the message, with the winged, carried the messages down from heaven to earth, to, to humans, to mortal man. If you identify with eagle, even if you don't, and you're a Virgo, and you've seen that your spidey senses have been on like super high level lately. Like you're like, oh my god, I knew that person was going to say that before that happened. Oh my god, I knew that song was going to come on. Oh my god, blah blah blah. There's a reason for that. This is the time for you to really work with and adopt eagle as your totem, even if it's only for the now. So if you are, if you're like, oh man, what energy do I need today? Why am I showing up to this live, daily tarot reading for today? Why am I doing this? And though this is specific to Virgo in this moment, this could be for everybody, in that you've got to you're being asked to take the high road, to see things from a higher perspective. And what that means is take a look at anything that's, on your mind, on your heart, and ask yourself, how important is this really in the scheme of my life? And really, how important is it? A sample of that might be somebody owes you money, and they just, they're not going to pay you back. It's not going to happen. Are you going to take them to court? How significant is this money? As a matter of fact, I just did a reading for somebody who has the question on her mind. The person in question offered her a settlement, and she was so deep into, but this person didn't, but this person should have, but this person didn't. So should I take the settlement, or should I, start court proceedings? Should I this? Should I that? And I said, well, I'm going to tell you what I'm being told by Spirit. And I said, you should take the settlement. And now I'm going to tell you, as just a person who's seen so many thousands of people going through the same thing that you're going through, what I know from their after stories is they ended up spending more than the margin between on the legal proceedings. They ended up spending more on trying to get what they wanted than if they had just taken the settlement and taken a little bit of a loss straight up front. So I'm being reminded, or being called to share that with you, Virgo, because you may be in a situation where you've got to decide what's most important. And is it principle, or should you just get out of this situation and move on about your merry business and come away from this situation as whole as you possibly can? So Virgo, for your daily tarot reading, I hope that was helpful. We are moving on to, man, y'all. So just so y'all know, this is the first time I've ever done, wow. I do readings all day, every day. That's what I do. I've never done readings on root chakra day for zodiac signs. I mean, I do it in individual readings all the time, but not the whole collective with everybody's stepping deep into who they really are at their core, which is who y'all are really are at your core. Because again, your zodiac animal is your birth totem. It's your original birth totem. I got to tell y'all something. I need to have like a 6-pack of my Mexican Cokes or some kind of big old Starbucks Frappuccino sitting by me, because great gosh, this is like seriously high energy. Okay. All that said, Libra, I balance. A 2 card. No kissing alpacas. Who doesn't love this card? Okay, so Libra, I balance, and here you are. Now, here's what's interesting. So again, this card comes from the Friends, Family, and Lovers add-on deck of the Arc. Oh, what am I thinking about? Y'all have a pic. If you're on this live, you're seeing the Arc Animal Tarot and Oracle deck. That's my deck, y'all. Because I've had a few people write me and ask me, what deck do you read from? So I'm not dissing those people. I love that they asked, because they went on to get decks, but I think I just have not made it as very clear. And so again, I want to make it really clear that for some reason, the greater preponderance of cards coming out today for the Wild Pack is They're oracle cards, which is super interesting to me, and there's only a few that have tarot cards. But my deck is based on the Rider-Waite-Smith tarot, and then of course, you know, all the animal spirit guide energy and medicine and whatever that goes into it. But rarely when I pull this card do I see this, or meaning does spirit tell me this about alpacas, and that truly is literally, Libra, I balance. It is all about love today for you. It is all about, and I'm really hearing that it's from romance. And what now? That doesn't necessarily mean it has to be a romance with another person. You know, it could be your fur babies. It could be yourself. It could be whatever you are wanting to accomplish. For those of you, man, I just want to hug. I want a mama bear hug all you Libras right now. Oh, sweet bejeebus. Ooh, my heart. Give me a second, y'all. Ooh, this is serious stuff. Man, I am calling in. I am calling in because I literally. Okay, this is how spirit works. I am so taken with emotion right now for you Libras. I'm really holding back the tears. I just want to hug you. And so I called in my bear to take that heaviness, not heaviness in a negative way, but just the abundance, just the amount of all of this stuff going on around love for Libras. And I asked Bear to come in about you know, take it away and show me something that's going to lighten this up a bit. I looked down, and the only comment I've seen all day, well, that's not true, 2 or 3. The only is Teapot said, ha ha ha, snoring away. You've got to be talking about my dog Hobbs, because she is sawing wood right next to me, y'all. I'm sorry. You know, little dog, big snores. That's all I can tell you. So here we go, Libra. I still want a mama bear hug you, but this is the thing. And Libra, I really feel like this is a healing for you all today, for your zodiac sign. It's your daily tarot reading, yes it is, but it's a healing and it's an activation for you. There is something going on around the subject of love, and you're just not in a great place about it. You're just not. And sometimes you just gotta reach out and give a big smoocherino. I mean, look at the look on their faces, right? The one is like smooch, 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 and the other one is like, dope, what? And now there's a smile on that one's face. And let me tell you something. Here we go, Libra. Here is your reading. I'm gonna tell you a story. It's story time. Snuggle up. So, and I'm holding, just so y'all know, I'm holding on to my palm polychrome for dear life, just so I can stay grounded with this, because you're an air sign and I'm a water sign, and I'm like, wow! Together we're a hurricane. Rock me like a hurricane. When a really good, one of my besties and I traveled to England a couple of years ago, and we ended up at this place. We showed up at our Airbnb, and we were like, I'm not staying here. Oh no, it's like 10:30 at night, and we're like, oh my God. But Spirit guided us to this amazing place called the Fox Inn. And they had the most charming, darling little bar and restaurant. I mean, everything British that you could imagine, including this old boy who owned, because it's a big horse area in the area that we were in. And this old boy, this guy's got to be older than Methuselah. And he was just sitting at the bar by himself. And he just intrigued me for some reason. So I asked the person that was helping us with our meal and whatnot. I said, that person intrigues me. Not that you can tell me anything about them, but what is it? Well, come to find out, this old boy's name is Mickey. And for those of you that know me personally, you know I have a very deeply personal attachment to that name, Mickey. And they call him Mick for short. And that's why I was like, I'm supposed to talk to him. So I said, I feel like he's alone. And the fella helping us said, not, oh, he's always alone. He doesn't have family. He never got married. He doesn't have kids. He's just alone. I was like, oh my gosh. So about a half an hour goes by, and he was throwing down the pints. I mean, throwing down the pints, this old boy. And, he started to get a looser with what he was talking about. And, he mentioned how much that coming to that place means to him. And he thinks of everybody there like family. So I got up and I walked over to him and I introduced myself. And he, very gracious. British people they're the most polite people on the planet. And I said, this will likely seem strange, but I feel like I want to give you a hug. Would you be willing to accept a hug from me? And he looked like this alpaca. What? And he thought about it for a second. He said, well, I would. So I gave this old boy the biggest mama bear hug ever. And he got tears in his eyes. He said, do you know I haven't been hugged by another human being in over 2 decades? 2 decades, y'all. 2 decades. That man has not had a hug. See, here it comes again, the emotion. So, whew, whatever you Libras are going through right now, you got to balance out. You got to balance out. And what that means is you either have to be the person that gives the hugs, or you've got to put yourself in a place where you're willing and ready to receive the hugs. Either way, I feel like it, literally, what a surprise with Libra. I'm feeling both sides of the scales. I think it's probably likely just split right down the middle with y'all Libras, is that you're either the person that needs to reach out and give the hug, and that might include forgiveness, or you may not. Listen, y'all have seen that meme that goes around with the older couple, and they're about 1,500 years old, and one of them has a sour look on their face, but they're still holding the umbrella over the person that they love because they're angry in the moment, but they still love them and they're still trying to help them. That's where you're at. But I promise it's not just because of my personal story, y'all. I got about 1,000 gajillion stories. I have lived a lot. Number one, I haven't lived a normal life. I haven't lived an average life, and I'm hard-headed, and I love adventure, so I've lived a lot of life. And so I got a million stories, but I was called to bring that story out for y'all Libras. Really, whoever wants to take that away from today. But you also might be in a place where maybe you're really hurt from a relationship, or hurt from this, or hurt from that. I have a really good friend who, their fur baby of, God, this 20 years or something, this dog. I can't even believe how long this dog lived. And they are, my God, they just can't get up off their knees. And believe me, I know the pain. I do. But they're also a person that won't let anybody in to help comfort them. They self-heal. And that, if that's you, don't do that. Don't do that. You've got to remove your blocks to love. Be Rumi. Rumi says, your job is not to love. Your job is to remove any blocks you have to love. So, Libra, whether that is your spirit tone or power animal today, those alpacas, it could even be llamas. They mean almost the same thing. I personally like alpacas a little bit more. They're not as mean. They don't normally spit in your face, and and they're just, to me, they're a little more adorable. But my enduring love of llamas and alpacas. But it's yeah, you're really called to do that. So I hope that's helpful, Libra. I truly, truly, truly do. And I'm sending a big mama bear hug out to you, and I love you more than I can say, and great googly moogly. Okay. So, wow. Okay. Whoo! After Libra comes Scorpio. Now, disclaimer, I'm a Scorpio, triple Scorpio. So I want you all to know that when I come upon a situation in a reading of any kind, a channeling of any kind, and I can personally identify with the situation, or like for Scorpio, and especially if whether it's a Pisces or it's a Scorpio, I very, very, very deeply connect with Pisces. And of course, Scorpio, I absolutely clear my channel. And it is important for you all to know that I have full confidence that I am not telling you things that are just that are relevant to me as a Scorpio. They are relevant to you as a Scorpio. But as a Scorpio, um, you know, for this Scorpio daily tarot reading, it is about you. It is not about me. Now, as you probably know, if you're a Scorpio, I desire is our mantra. And what that means is, again, I'm back to Leo. Leo says I will. Okay, whatever. Hold my beer. Because when a Scorpio wants something, that's it. Whatever this is that you want, slow down, you move too fast. You gotta make the morning lush, just kicking down the cobblestones. In 4 different keys. But and I'm being told to say, yeah, you gotta slow down, but it's not about feeling groovy. This is about literally slowing down, literally, because wow. Wowzers, wowzers, wowzers. Thank you, Maureen. Hugs to Mama Bear. Thank you. Hugs to you all. Thanks. That's very sweet. Thank you. Okay. For those of you that are just joining me, welcome to the Metaphysical Madness. For those of you that know me, no matter how mystical I am, because I love me some mysticism. Oh, yes, I do. I love to be all like, woo, and all out there and on the other side and having a foot in both worlds. It's my jam. It's not really my jam. It's just who I am. I can't even help it. You know that I'm just straight to the point. So let me just get straight to the point. Scorpio, you're being called. Like a preacher would get a calling, like any kind of service worker would get a calling. There's some kind of call for you to serve. Now, how does that blend in with the snail? And how does that blend in with I desire? I'll tell you why. Because you are very likely going through a time when you are so called at such a powerful level to and I keep hearing teach, to teach, to teach, to teach, to guide, to guide, to guide. I keep hearing it over and over and over. And along with hearing that from spirit, I'm seeing the spiral. I'm seeing the spiral on a snail's shell. And a spiral is leading you to the Fibonacci sequence. So I would really encourage you to study up on the Fibonacci sequence and what spirals mean. And one of those things, man, I shared that in a video the other day. Ooh, I can't remember the particulars because I had to read it 3 or 4 times myself. People think that the Fibonacci sequence means just a perfect symmetry or a perfect math or a perfect whatever to the spiral, and that's actually mathematically incorrect. And I read a whole thing on it. I don't know, Harvard, Yale, one of those brainiac people did a whole deep dive into the mathematics of it. But you're being asked to really sit with the universe, because whatever this is, okay, here's the other thing I'm being told to ask. Scorpio, if you are a Scorpio and this is making sense to you, could you just write makes sense, or just put Scorpio in the chat? I am going to keep an eye on it for the moment. And that is your calling is no joke. No joke. Not that anybody's calling is a joke, but this is like some deeply sacred kind of thing that could affect a lot of people in such a positive way. Thank you, C. Canuel. I thank you. Lordy B, how many great googly moogly? How many Scorpio times 5? That is Kelly B. You got 5 Scorpio. Great wowzers. Okay, So put in the chat, if you're a Scorpio, just write Scorpio, or if this is making sense to you about you have been experiencing a calling that is where you're to serve, where you're to teach, where you're to be a light bringer, meaning you're going to be a guiding light, like a lighthouse. I really keep seeing lighthouse, and I keep seeing holding a torch and you lighting the way for. That's it. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me get to something that'll make it a little more clear. It's not enough. It's not enough that you're being called to shine the light, to be a guiding light, to be a way shower. You are literally going to be the one who grabs people by the hand and you lead them through the catacombs. You lead them away from depression, you lead them away from anger, you lead them away from insecurity, you help them self-actualize, you literally help them get out of danger. I had that situation about 6 weeks ago. A friend of mine was in literal physical danger and I said, I'll be right over, and that was put to rest in just a few minutes, and we got her out of danger, and things are much better. But it is and it could be anything. It could be anything. It could be anything. But you are being called so deeply, and what you're being called to know is that once Scorpio commits to what they're called to do, it tends to be all consuming. I desire that desire, and we're on root chakra day. Holy guacamole, with a side of spicy salsa and a margarita, because it will get in your root chakra and it will be all that drives you. Not this time. It cannot do that. The reason why is it's going to take you a little bit of time to get in the groove. It's going to get you a little bit of time. You can't flame out on this. Slow and steady wins the race on this one, meaning just stay true to your path. Take it increments at a time. You won't flame yourself out. You won't flame everything else out. And the other thing is snails are thought to be such earth animals. Okay, yes, they are. But a snail can climb anything it can suction to. Listen, I live in Florida. We got snails every darn doggone where. I see them in trees. I see them at the tippy top of 8-foot tall sunflowers. And so whatever this is, I'm telling you, snail is your spirit totem and power animal. And I would really encourage you to work with snail energy again as your spirit totem and power animal, because the thing is that we're talking about cycles. When you take a look at the shell and the spiral, again, it's cyclical. I'll give you a prime example. I say it all the time. I have been asked for years, literally by thousands of y'all, to teach online classes. But all of a sudden, I was told, nope, that's it. This is the time. You better take it to the next level. And so I've got my head all up into, the class that's, included with the Kickstarter, for those of you that took it, and other classes. I can't spit these classes and these videos and these lessons out fast enough. I need to take my own advice, which I won't, because I don't feel like it's the right time for me to be the snail in this way. But it is about cycles. Whatever cycles you've been going through, you're on the other side. And one of the things that I'm being called to share with you is that when you see that slime trail after snails, that's because they're creating an opportunity for themselves to glide more easily over that slime to get to where it is that they want to go. And there's a big theory around the pyramids that how they were able to move those giant rocks and that kind of thing is they would wet the sand ahead of them. They would have water people that would wet the sand, and it created a slick, kind of glossy way for them to move that through. Now, having said that, let me just say this. You take a snail out of their shell and they are completely defenseless. And let's be honest, they're a snail. They're not, their shell protects them as much as it can. But you take them out of the shell and they got nothing. So you are absolutely being called to keep your protective shell on. And I feel like that's for your own energy. protect your own energy as you embark on this calling. And, ooh, Karen T, the snail slime sparkles in sunlight. Slime does. Okay. So, all that said, I got to pick up the pace, y'all. I mean, I got to pick up the pace. I have committed to stay on longer. I've done not a very good job of staying on time today, but I am going to get to everybody. So, whether, keep your hard shell. So, Scorpio, I hope that was helpful. There you have it. Okay, we're moving on to Sagittarius. Like, you need this card, Sagittarius. But I just want to say this, and I am going to hawk my own deck. I'll tell you why, because you're seeing proof positive of it today. When I draw cards for y'all, I draw them, it's pure. I don't sit and plot what sign should have this or what. I don't do that. Why would I do that? It will never be as effective as Spirit just telling me when to stop shuffling and where to pull the cards from and whatever. So, Sagittarius, today your card is Cougar. And your mantra is, I see. And what is this cougar doing? This cougar is at the top of a big old rock or a big old hill, maybe even a mountain, looking out and seeing what it can see. We could be donezo here, Sagittarius. We could be absolutely donezo. But it is nuts that these cards have come out. And it's not the cards, it's the animal. It's the animal energy, which is why so many people are working with the animal archetypes of the arc and writing me and telling me, I've been a reader for this amount of time. I've been a reader for this amount of time, but I've never had more accurate readings in my life than when I use the arc. You know why? Because as many archetypes as in the traditional tarot, it doesn't necessarily speak to your most basic natural self, whereas animals do, because you're an animal. We're animals. Get it? See the correlation? So, of course. So, Sagittarius, you listen. you love to help people. You're also a humanitarian. And you and your fire, woof! And you get your sights set on something, and you are unstoppable. However, once you have gotten what it is that you aimed at and you land your target, you're like a 2-year-old at Christmas. It's fun for about 35 seconds and then you're off to something else. This is not the time to do that. This is not the time to do that. When a big cat wants something, a big cat will stay on something when it needs to see something, when it needs to make a decision. It will sit there as long as it needs to, until it knows that it's safe or until that it feels that it's the right time to move ahead. And honest to goodness, Sagittarius, I'm not slighting you with your reading, for your daily tarot card reading, because I'm out of time. And I'm not out of time. I'm going to say it again. Just so you guys know, on Mondays, if I run over time, I do. It is what it is. I want everybody to get the messages they're supposed to get. But honest to goodness, it's as simple for you, Sagittarius, as stop letting your arrows fly so fast. Step into the big cat energy, step out of your own cougar energy to really consider what it is that you're seeing and if now is the right time. I keep hearing timing in my head for you, not because I'm talking about time at the moment, but because it really is about time for you. And wow. Okay. For those of you that are Sagittarians, or you have Sagittarius in your chart somewhere, one of the things you dislike most is when people put you on a time schedule you do not like to be committed to just about anything. You want to be free. Totally get that. Cats are like that. Man, they hate to be penned in. Ooh, cats hate to be penned in. Like, I don't care if they're 15th generation at a zoo or a sanctuary or whatever. They do not like cages. It's who they are. You cannot breed that out of an animal. You cannot. You can't. Animals are who they are. Period. Case in point, my snoring chihuahua. The bug guy came in a couple weeks ago. I was on red alert the second I opened that door. I've never seen my little dog growl at a person and her hackles went up. I was like, oh my God, she looks like a Pomeranian. Her hackles went up. And she inserted herself between me and him. I kept my phone with me the whole time. She's never reacted like that to another human being, ever, ever. I knew he was danger zone. And the more I watched him, the more I watched him looking around my place. So before he left, because she kept herself inserted the entire time he did the check in my house. Before he left, I said to him, I said, listen, I said, you asked me earlier if I live here alone, and I didn't answer you, and I'm still not going to answer you, and here's why. I said, I have a background that you would be very surprised to know that I have, and I watched you looking at every single corner, every single thing in my house. I said, that's called casing a joint. And I want you to know that before you make any stupid decisions based on what you think you know, I caution you, I'm giving you fair warning, don't do it. That man's face turned purple. And he just looked at me and he goes, and he literally turned around and he walked off. Now, I didn't call the office or anything because what am I going to prove? Nothing. But we understood each other. And it was my dog and my spidey senses that tipped me off to it. I was uncomfortable the entire time the guy was in the house. What was I going to, okay. Thankfully, I don't have termites. So there's the end of that story. But you are literally being called something like that, Sagittarius, with the Cougar. You've got to determine what you really want to take aim and let that arrow fly out and what you do not, and choose wisely. There's your message for today. There's your tarot reading for today. Man, I hope that's helpful. Okay, so speaking of big cat energy, here's something also crazy. Capricorns. Trudge, 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 trudge. I always hear that song when I talk to Capricorns. Y'all are so rooted in the earth, my God. It's amazing y'all don't have vines growing from your feet. Now, let me just say, you might notice that the Jaguar is the same Jaguar that's on the front of the ark. There's a reason for that. Years. It took me and my artist 2.5 years to make this deck. 2.5. Looked at over 60,000 animal photos. And literally 2 weeks before we went to press, I still didn't have an animal for the front of the box. I had another cat for the Queen of Swords, a different cat, and I still never felt, I never really, it was good. It just wasn't, it didn't feel like that kind of power. All of a sudden, this Jaguar appeared in front of me, and I went, there she is. And this is a female Jaguar, just so you know. That's what she told me, and that's what she is. Jaguars, whether feminine or masculine, female or male, are like the shaman's animal. Snakes and jaguars, that's it. They are considered the shamanic animal. It's one of the Jaguar medicine is pick a shamanic tribe, pick an indigenous shamanic tribe, man. They know. Okay. The Queen of Swords, Capricorn, you're being asked to be the Queen of Swords. Now, let me just say this. Cappies can stay working so hard for so long. And your mantra is, I use. And what that means is you are such an old soul and you carry with you such ancient wisdom that when everyone around you is spinning, you are the center. You are the anchor point. You are. And so I'm being told that for the Capricorns of the wild pack at the moment, and for those of you for whom you might be watching these daily tarot readings because you want to find out about somebody else's zodiac sign and what's going on with them, and that's cool too. Yes, stay on course. Yes, keep doing what you do, because you can be distant, just like the Queen of Swords. She can seem like a distant archetype. Like if you work with her energy, when I spent time working with her, I carried the card around with me. I gathered every picture I could gather about the Queen of Swords, every tarot picture or artwork or whatever, and I just kind of looked at all of them and took in. I have to say honestly, a Queen of Swords, the archetype would it takes effort for me, not Capricorns, the Queen of Swords. It takes effort for me to stay engaged with a Queen of Swords because I'm highly emotional, like crazy highly emotional. And the Queen of Swords can seem like she's emotional because she's like the King of Swords. They can make the hard decisions, and when they fell that sword, it fell swift and true. And sometimes that can seem like you're treating people unfairly, but you're not. You really have weighed all sides of everything, and you've no choice. Well, you do have a choice, but you draw on that ancient wisdom, and you draw on that old soul thing, and you know it to be the right thing for the right moment at the right time. Now, here's the other thing. When again, for y'all that know me, my preference, my personal Bernadette preference would be to just laugh my way through every dang reading, everything I do with y'all that's an interaction. But it would not be true. It would give an inauthenticity or an unauthentic thing, energy to the work that I do and to what you all do and what, the work that you get it. Because not everything, well, everything can have a twist of humor, and I do that um, when we're getting through the hard stuff. And I'm not suggesting, Capricorn, for your reading today, what's being told to you is hard, but it is gravely, gravely important. And I was told to use the word gravely, rather than seriously, powerfully, especially, extremely. I was told to use grave. And what that tells me is you are dealing with matters of life and death right now, or you will be at some time during the week, which makes perfect sense why Jaguar has shown up for you, because, it's like that Kickstarter class on Saturday. I want everyone to do everything they want in their entire life, riding on a high, and just joyous in every moment, exciting in every moment. But that, I dream of a world where that's possible. But in this world, that's a tough thing to accomplish. And so sometimes you're going to have to face fears. You're going to have to do some emotional healing. You're going to have to do some psychological healing. I'm not a medical professional. I don't do that kind of work. But shaman, when you're talking about being a shaman or following a shamanic path, I contend that every reading I do is a soul retrieval, because the readings that I do, yes, my job is to tell you what the animal allies and spirit and angels and whoever it is that I'm talking to, because whoever it is that person needs to hear from is who shows up to me in the moment. But sometimes that can be gravely important, and it can be deep. And again, like for the people on Saturday, they had to really take a look at something, because it's fine and well to have a dream, but are you willing to do what it takes to make that dream come true? Now, that also goes to levels. In Capricorn, you start nothing unless you are willing to see it through to its conclusion, and you'll stay on it for years. Cool. You're being called to do that in this moment because you see. Okay. When you are working with Jaguar energy, I don't, have y'all ever heard a sound so loud it hurts the inside of your ears? I'm hearing this so loudly but energetically, like a vibration, a very low tone, but not low in energy. Not it's rich and it's full, but it's like booming, and it's not negative. It's just cacophonous, and my ears, deep down inside, my ears hurt, because whatever this is has to do with past lives and soul retrieval. And what I'm saying about the soul retrieval is, if you guys have never heard that before, in the shamanic world, uh, we will do a thing for people, either lead them on a journey to go to past lives and and pick up parts of their soul that have been fragmented or broken off or damaged in some way, and bring those back healthy and whole, and integrate them into the soul, the person that, well, I say spirit because I believe your soul is that part of God, the universe, all that is, so on and so forth, that is always not just perfect, but it is the embodied, it is love. It's just that simple. It is love. That's it. But your spirit is the one that gets fragmented and broken and damaged and bruised and, all that kind of thing. And you bring back those fragments of that person's spirit and you patch it all together, hopefully with some 18 karat gold or, whatever it is you did love. And it's more beautiful than it was before. So you can do that for yourself, but on occasion, well, not more than on occasion, clients ask me to do that for them. And so I just, I don't tell everybody that at the beginning of a reading. I mean, y'all will know now, but really at the beginning of a reading, that's what it is a soul retrieval, right? Because we talk about what their blocks and their, what they need to know at that moment to help them move ahead, answer their question, give them clarity, give them peace, whatever. And that's always going to be about, looking over my shoulder, and seeing what's been carried forward from another life, always. And so there's something, okay, this is a first. Capricorns, you might be called to take an Akashic Records class, a past life class, a shamanic soul retrieval class. You might be being called to do that. Do it. It's going to be very important to you. Now, if you are working with Cougar as your spirit totem or power animal, I will tell you that today, Cougar is only your power animal. It is asking you to step out of your Cougar, or excuse me, Jaguar. Excuse me, Jaguar. It's asking you to step out of Jaguar when you need to be you in this 3D mortal world. But other than that, remain your Jaguar. I don't care if you're going grocery shopping, you're going to pick up the dry cleaning. It doesn't matter. You must stay Jaguar and listen for the hints, listen for the signs, watch the signs. All of these little clues are going to start being in front of you. Wow. Wow, just wow. Okay, Capricorn, I hope that was super helpful. Okay, moving on. And we are moving on to Aquarius, which is cool because the Eight of Pentacles, which is the giraffe, that has come for you today. Now, here's why I love that for you. Aquarius, your mantra is I know, and you do, because almost every Aquarian I've ever met truly has been near genius level. You all can just imagine worlds and situations that other people, they just can't see, because people mostly get caught up in the day-to-day, what it is, what's happening now, and they find it really difficult to move ahead. That said, you don't do that. Now, what I'm also here's what this means for giraffe, and let me just get through giraffe, and then we're going to talk about, so this is a reticulated giraffe, right? And if you notice, the giraffe wanted to be this card, because the spots on it are so reminiscent of pentacles, of coin, of wealth and abundance, and and that's abundance. Mind, earth, air, fire, water, spirit is the 5 points of a pentacle, and pentacles usually mean money, but that doesn't have to be hardcore money. It can be money in kind. So for instance, maybe you've dreamed of getting out of credit card debt, and you've set the intention, I want to be out of credit card debt by the end of the year. Now, I would invite you to set the intention that you don't want that to come from anything negative, like a car accident or an accident of some kind, or a health scare where you get a settlement. That won't be worth it. But if you set the intention around it, it can come from anywhere, but you're going to be out of credit card debt by the end of the year. All of a sudden, your business may double. All of a sudden, you may get extra hours at work. All of a sudden, you may have a distant relative pass away, and you get money that you didn't know was coming. You come up with a new idea for whatever, you start making investments, you whatever. Okay, but Aquarius, you are so Giraffian. You are just such a giraffe, because giraffes, they carry a lot of air energy with them, because they're so tall. They can see things that other animals can't see unless they're flying or they're at the tippy top of a tree or a mountain. And so giraffes are indicative about the big picture. And honestly, what I am being told for you right now, Aquarius, for your tarot card reading today, is that it really is about seeing the big picture financially. There's something going on with you Aquarians out there in the wild pack. And whoever, whether you're watching this video now or you're watching it on playback, there's something going on for you about this. It is what it is. Whatever is going on, you've got to see the bigger picture of your finances. Some of that might include, okay, listen, when a giraffe goes to drink water, they have no choice but to spread their legs way out and put their head down to the water, and it puts them in an extremely vulnerable position. Now, they've got to have that water. They got to have it. They're going to die if they don't. But that's why you see so many, let me just say, that's why you see other animals, usually big cats, hunting giraffes at their water hole, because that's when they're the most vulnerable. It takes them a bit to haul that head up and get those legs out get their legs up from under them, or get them up under them, because the only defense that a giraffe has is to kick. Now, they will kick you dead, and their aim is extraordinary, just extraordinary, but they will kick you dead. So I'm being told for you to keep a watchful eye out, Aquarius, because you also have the waters of life flowing from your jug. And I know astrologers who really think that Aquarius should be the fourth water sign. And I mean, they're very committed to that. So even though you're not, you are, sorry, hold on. I'm hearing what I'm hearing come in. You are an air sign. And when you elevate your head, you definitely step into the Father Sky energy, but you're also deeply emotional. So you've got to, it's almost like Giraffe is being called to tell you, see the big picture, let your head rule this one and not your heart for your finances. And if you find that you don't have a head for finances, the Eight of Pentacles is about apprenticeship and quality craftsmanship, and it is called the Lord of Perfected Work. The Kabbalists call that card the Lord of Perfected Work. Just keep going, a little bit at a time, a little bit at a time. You cannot hand the financial responsibility of your life. I don't care if you're in a marriage of 1,000 years or you're in, whatever. It doesn't matter. You've got to be the one responsible for your money. Now, that sounds like a big omen, a big warning. And for some of you Aquarians, that will be. But for some of you Aquarians, really what I feel like you're being called to makes me want to, I want to laugh and I want to giggle and I want to, I'm so excited for you, because there's something that's coming for you if you'll step into this energy where you've got money coming. And what you want, what you truly want, is coming, as long as you make yourself see the big picture, make yourself look all around everywhere, and maybe even somebody has your back when you go down to take that drink of water when you're in your most vulnerable position. And that's what you do. You just have, maybe you watch your back and maybe one other person watch your back, and it'll all be fine. So Aquarius, I really hope that was helpful. All right, moving on. We are moving on to Pisces. All right. This just makes such sense. This is just crazy, which, by the way, is the Seven of Pentacles for Pisces. right? Bunny rabbit, reaping what you sow. Now, this is hilarious because rabbits, they're no joke. I don't know if you guys have ever seen video of rabbits fighting. And they get up on their two hind legs and they box. It's the funniest thing ever. I'm not making fun of rabbits, but they're rabbits, y'all. They can only be so fierce, but dang, they are fierce to each other because they take those fights really seriously. And they are serious to a rabbit. But the first thing I'm being told for you Pisces, because your mantra is, I believe. Like Aquarius, you are such a visionary. And you are just so gentle in your heart. Just so gentle in your heart. Now, when I take a look at a rabbit's ears, even if it's a lop-eared rabbit, I always feel like that it's very much like if an animal or an insect or whatever has an antenna, or they have antennae, or they have tusks or horns of some kind. That's like a cable line to the divine. It's a way that they, like cable TV, right? Used to be with the big antennas. It's like that. But for rabbit, for you today, what I am for your tarot reading today, Pisces, I'm being told that you, this week in particular, you could do very well by yourself of perking up those ears and hearing what the divine has to tell you. Here's why. Again, the Seven of Pentacles is the Lord of perfected work, or not the Lord of perfected work, but it's all about reaping what you sow. And in the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith tarot, it is the picture of a fella standing there resting on his shovel and, looking at his everything he's planted. And that is exactly what rabbits do, but not in the way that you might think. And what that means is rabbits and rats and mice make up 80% of the prey animals in a forest, in a jungle, wherever. And 80%, y'all. And so they really had to get smart and get like, how are we going to survive? And that's when rabbits decided to start making tunnels. And they make these unbelievably elaborate tunnels that can literally go on for miles. And they have many, many places that they can go in, and they have many, many places that they can go out of. And that's how they've kept the species alive, along with having litters that are unbelievably large, right, in the natural world. The other thing is they don't create that tunnel big enough where other critters can get in. So whatever this is that's going on for you, about whatever this is you want to believe in, and I truly am hearing this is about your belief system today. I'm hearing this so deeply in my root chakra, I don't even, and yes, I hear with my root chakra. Oh, the comic in me just, give me a second, you guys. The comic in me is just, the jokes are just flying through my head. So inappropriate. Scorpio, comic, root chakra, hearing, you can put it together. So, you really, like the other dual signs, Libra and Gemini, you can be in watery, my God, you can do this. But truly, when you get a belief of something, usually a cause of some kind, man, oh man, oh man, you're like a maelstrom and you stay on it. So whatever this is, you're being asked to create your tunnels, create your ins, create your outs, and really listen to the divine about that. If you notice, this rabbit has one ear cocked up and is like, really listening and really looking at you intently. And that's so that rabbit energy can help you stay gentle, and take care of whoever you consider to be family, and whatever this thing is that you consider family, an extension of yourself. Man, oh man, oh man, oh man. I get great googly moogly, y'all. For you as a Pisces. Now, for your zodiac sign, rabbit is coming to you today as a spirit animal. You've had something really not pressing on your heart, but that you've really been mulling over, Pisces. It is, wowzers. Man, this is like, phew. Okay, it's something you've been mulling over in your mind. And I just see that the Pisces energy that's streaming from the wild pack today is just, you're not sure that you should start it. You're not sure it's right for you, but you know the path, you know what to do. You're just not sure it's right for you. And you'll know that by the end of the week. You'll know whether it's the right person, the right job, the right endeavor, the right whatever thing personally you want to do. It is, yeah, wow, 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 wow. And once, here's the thing. I keep hearing 222, and what that means is, let's say that you decide this is not for me, like that. The thing that is right for you is going to be standing right beside you. It's like you've got your attention over here, thinking. Yeah, I'm going to let that go. I'm going to let that energy go. And somebody goes, boo! And you're like, wah! And you turn around, and that thing that is meant for you is standing, has been right beside you all along. If it's the thing that is meant for you and you decide, get ready to be like a torpedo in the water, because whatever, I don't know what fish can swim the fastest. I'm going to look that up. But you're going to torpedo through that like nobody's business. And one more thing, Pisces, I'm not saying not to take other people's opinions and counsel into consideration, but people are going to have something to say about your vision. Take away what it makes sense to you and what resonates with you. But other than that, let them move along. You know what I mean? So all that said, man, I really want to thank you all. It is such an honor to, every time Spirit tells me to do a different kind of reading or take things from a different tactic or whatever, it really stretches me as a reader and it teaches me a lot, and especially as a teacher. I just thank you all for showing up today so much, and thank you for the support and the love and the, man, gosh, thank you so much. All right, so we are moving on. Aries. Oh, the sun will come out tomorrow. Bet your bottom dollar that tomorrow there'll be sun. Don't make me break out when I think of a day that's day and lonely. Okay, of all Aries, you're just so, I don't know. Y'all are so strong-headed, and y'all get something in your mind, and you're like, pew! You're like Road Runner. If he catches you, you're through. Pyong! You're gone like a Road Runner, man. Phew! And man, I love to be the bearer of good news. And Aries, for your tarot reading, what I'm being told to tell you is to step into that Lamborghini race car, whatever is the fastest car. Step into that energy. I don't know what's been holding you back. It's almost been like, I want to say cocoon, but Duck is the sun in my deck. And that in the traditional Rider-Waite Smith tarot deck, it's the picture of the little boy or the little baby. The baby's naked, just sitting there in all its glory on top of the white horse, arms spread, just welcoming everybody and really saying, ta-da, here I am. And there's all the sunflowers and the sun in the back, and the horse is pure white, that whole 9 yards, right? Usually I'm having to tell Terries. That's a mixture of tarot and Aries, y'all. It's called a Terries. And and I'm usually being called to tell them to, just like, okay, take a breath. But that's not it. You actually have been taking a breath, and I'm called to the creation, which is the egg, the cosmic egg. And I'm really being compelled to tell you, that's it. Get going, get gone, as we say in the South. And so it is Aries. You lower that head, you lower those horns, and you light. Well, you don't really have to light the fire. You are a fire sign. You've got a cardinal direction. And I'm asking for other things to say, because it really is that simple. That's not true. It is that simple. However, you really are being asked to lower your head and lower your horns and just plow ahead. And That's it. I'm being told for you to plow ahead, plow ahead, plow ahead. And what that means is, Aries, you might have been suffering setbacks lately. You might still be in that cosmic egg. You might be analyzing. You might be feel like you're a little constricted in a cocoon. Really, really anxious for that time for you to bust out of that cocoon and fly, like emerge. Okay, this reading is your call. It's your activation that as your spirit animal, here's your sign, here's your sign. Bilingual, here's your sign. And as an activation, it is to step fully into your totem of who you really are when you are at your highest flying, most energetic, most clear, happiest, self. And whatever this is, whether you want it for yourself, for others, for the world, for, whatever, that's it. As wow, I'm actually hearing the reverse of you. For you, usually as a power animal, you're asked to step outside the power animal. You're not being asked that here. You're being asked to stay in the power animal, to stay the power animal while you put your head down and plow the road and just forge ahead, using those horns to knock anything that you feel like or you see is holding you back, keeping you down, keeping you constricted. And that's the big thing. You cannot stay confined. You cannot stay constricted, whether you're constricting yourself, whether others are constricting you, or circumstances. My favorite thing is when people say, well, it's really the circumstances. And I'm like, circumstances are not alive. They're not living things. They're not shackling you. A circumstance is not a living, breathing thing. The thought pattern of that circumstance is a living, breathing thing. And so what you do when you say, it's the circumstance holding me back or causing this pain or causing this or whatever, no, it's not. It's that you see it that way. And by that, you've now created a thought form, which is a living thing, which keeps telling you it's the circumstance, it's the circumstance. This is why you can't move forward. This is why you're failing. This is why, la, 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 la. What would you do if you had somebody yapping in your ear like that? A friend, a family member, a random stranger? La, 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 la. No, 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 no. You're not good enough. You're not this, you're not that. What would you do? I hope you would draw a boundary. I hope. Today you have no boundaries, Aries. You will have roadblocks, but you're gonna remember how the Kool-Aid man used to bust through the wall. I see you as the Kool-Aid man today, Aries, the Kool-Aid man. So the Kool-Aid jug, and so that's it, man. And also work with, like, you need more fire in your life. But I will tell you that sun energy is your ally today. Sun is on your side. Now, what the heck does this have to do with ducks? That it's the sun card. Literally, I'm looking at duck, and duck's like, I got nothing. I'm just showing up, and it's a sun card. Literally, duck brought your sun to you today, and the message to plow ahead. All right, and finally, I hope that was helpful, Aries. Finally, we get to Taurus. Oh, Taurus, I have, listen, let me tell y'all something. Eel is who showed up for you today, Taurus. Eel. Okay, now, I know people go nuts when I assign human emotion to animals. I don't assign human emotion to animals. I assign animal emotion to animals. We're animals. Eel is, well, I mean, it's obviously not an animal. It's a snake, it's whatever its classification or phyla is, but it's an animal, okay? So it always mystifies me that people think that human emotion is different than animal emotion, because it's not. It's just not. It's not. And anybody that does animal communication can tell you. So the Taurus tarot reading for today is all about the eel. Now, let me tell you something. as hard as it is to find really awesome photos of other animals, it is surprisingly easy to find fantastic pictures of eels. Because for those of you that don't know, other than the mythological animals and literally one other animal in the ark, they're all real animals from real photos of real animals. No joke. And so this is a real picture of a real eel, and he just wanted to be he just wanted to be this, because if you look at him, he's like, yuck, yuck, yuck. And, you know, they really do look like they are telling jokes and hearing jokes all the time. They're not. Okay, because they're snakes. At the end of the day, they're snakes. But Taurus, you're going to hate this message. I'm sorry I planted that seed. I apologize. I want to take it back, but I can't. I can't, because you're going to hate this message. Taurus, you will stay in a bad relationship and a bad job in the most toxic circumstances because you fear and hate change so much. Now, that's not every single Taurus, but it's most Tauruses. And you might experience something like this if you've got a lot of Taurus in your chart, or it's your rising sign or whatever. But you are going through a great change. And you are being called to work with snake energy at large, but definitely eel energy, because it also brings the water emotion to it. And I keep seeing, you know, especially like the ribbon eels, they've got all those flashes of color, and all eels do this through the water. Even if you just can't bring yourself to move forward, making a change, like just straight on it, making that change, you are being asked to at least undulate with the tides, to at least undulate to where it is that you are wanting to go, even if for the next weeks it's a lateral move to the right, and then a lateral move to the left, and a lateral move to the right, and a lateral move to the left, because snakes, they cannot go backwards. They're physically incapable of going backwards, and that's for eels also. And even when you move to the right and then you move to the left, you can't stay in one position. You inch ahead incrementally until you get where it is that you know that you need to go or want to go. And what I'm hearing for Taurus at the moment, for your zodiac sign, is that there's something deeply kind about this forward momentum that you don't want to make. You know that you should, you know that you have to, for your own happiness, for your own sanity, for your own health and well-being, mind, body, and spirit. But it feels like it feels to me like you feel like by taking this step forward, shaking things up, getting out of the rut, that it could be deeply hurtful to someone else. You can't help that. You cannot help that. You cannot be responsible for how other people feel. As long as you're making this move out of true love of self first, you can be shown the way to make the move so that it is the least harmful to the other party involved as you can. But I'm being told that this other I'm being told that it is really important for you to this person, this situation, this whatever, the other factions that you're being called to move forward from, not away from necessarily, but forward from, are deeply committed to not seeing things for what they really are, not taking personal responsibility. The other thing that I'm being told is that this also has to do with sacred sexuality. And so there's got to be something around your Kundalini. It could be very good for you to work with Kundalini energy, but when I feel that, I feel it's specifically water related, which is very specifically emotional related. And as regards sacred sexuality, whether it's for yourself or you're trying to help somebody else who's confused or hurt or, you know, stagnant or whatever, you're really being called to sit and maybe do some Kundalini exercises, some Kundalini meditation, some Kundalini awakenings, that kind of thing. And that's going to hold you in good stead. All right. For those of you that stuck in there with me, because that concludes our daily pick a card daily tarot readings for today. I love you all so much. And I thank you for hanging in there with me. And I really hope, you know, let me know on YouTube, you know, or in the forums, please, y'all. Please go join the forums, wildpackwisdom.com/forums, because there's a lot of conversation going on over there. And again, the Wild Pack, y'all are some of the most helpful people. And I thank you all so much. I love you. But as we always say, what are the most important things? To do good for animals, including yourself, and stay wild. Take care, everybody.